team ban.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the joinDOTA League Euro Division, and this is Next.kz versus the Radical Online Extremists Game 2 of a 2-game series. Wow, what a Game 1. What an incredible thing. I just realized just now that I didn't take a single drink of water next to me during that entire cast because it just wouldn't stop. RoX.KIS put on a clinic. They just had so much aggression, so much
Dire team pick.
kill potential, so much devastating play, and they really just ran all over Next.kz. They didn't know what hit them. They really didn't. Now, respectfully banding out two of the stronger pickups that Godblack selected, the Abaddon and the Bane. But as we know from the mad genius drafter, Godblack has another trick in store for them. We'll see if it's as effective as the last game, or if Next.kz can in fact bring this to a draw, 1-for-1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first game if you got a chance to check it out. Just a complete bloodbath, and that's what you can expect from CIS Dota. So we'll see some more in just a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Alright, so going into this next draft, essentially just kind of trying to calm and rest on my laurels a little bit before the action picks up again, and it just comes down to a non-stop slugfest. But starting things off, another very powerful pickup. I'm actually surprised to see it being considered first pick material, but this is Mantis for you. He definitely looks at things a little bit differently. It was banned out in Phase 2, so they do want to pick it up in Phase 1, and they're going with Kaldir, the Ancient Apparition. So, should be very fun, but not going to get that synergy with the Poison Nova plus the Ice Blast. Not going to be able to shatter people from across the map, across multiple team fights, with that substantial damage over time. So, that will come into play, but still a very, very powerful hero in his own right. Starting off getting some early points in this Chilling Touch. It's been buffed up a lot in the past few patch iterations, and combining that with something like a Lunar Blessing from Luna or something like that, you do so much right-click damage, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, should be fun to see how effective this will be, and in fact, if he can get level 6 fast enough to make a very large impact on the game. But RoX.KIS are just going to pick up a couple of cool skills for themselves. They're going to pick up the Venomancer, which is still a very dominant support hero, as well as occasionally selected as a solo mid. Great for pushing, counter-pushing, and dealing devastating damage over time. In the meantime, they want to nullify that global presence of the Ancient Apparition, so they're going to go with a Fury of their own. Now, they can be wherever they want on the map, and they don't have to worry about Mantis's movement at any stage in the game. I mean, once he gets some good farm, is able to teleport actively, or just get a blink tag or something like that, sure, we'll see some big plays out of him, I'm sure, but just getting that innate teleportation and that innate global presence is going to be a huge deal for RoX.KIS, and it's actually one hero that Sadoi is very, very familiar with. When I used to cast RoX.KIS like multiple days a week in a couple different tournaments, Sadoi played Nature's Prophet like half those games. He was also a great lone druid when that was popular in the meta, but I have a lot of expectations for him, just kind of burned into my memory of how well he can perform on this guy. So we'll see. Some great powerful ultimates to start off, and obviously that's going to mean they are very reliant on finding their level 6 at an appropriate timing, but they also have a lot of potential to pick up heroes that can counter-initiate. Right now, they're up against Ancient Apparition's huge Ice Blast, which can synergize with different things like the Faceless Void Chronosphere and things like that, as well as, of course, as a Bat Rider going in for the Lasso and Force Staff out. But if you consider the potential for Puck to just blink right back in on top of that, silence somebody, lock them all in place, maybe get a Yules or a Sheep for supposed Void, then that's going to work out extremely well for them. And they can, of course, like I said, turn things around with Big Breath of Nature nukes and things of that nature. But what they are still lacking is a BKB-reliant carry. If you pick up a BKB against Ancient Apparition, you're going to be feeling a lot better about yourself. The fact that you can lifesteal, and the fact that you don't have to worry about that shatter threshold. Those are two big things for the Ice Blast. As far as bans go, they're pretty interesting once again. We do see that the Viper and Weaver were both taken off the board, and I don't really have the best... Okay, now I do. I was about to say I don't really know 100% why they considered those two to be the most important thing, but I now realize that that's because they wanted to set up the Lifestealer carry. They said, okay, well, Rage is the best carry, or having an innate magic immunity is going to be the best thing against Ancient Apparition. We want him on the same team. As well, he can go ahead and infest inside the Bat Rider to go for some really powerful ganks but it kind of would have been a thorn in their side if picking Lifestealer. They immediately got counterpicked by a Viper or a Weaver, who both, in their own ways, do a huge amount of damage to Lifestealer, and also negate some of his potential. Viper slowing him down, especially with that Aghadam's ultimate, and Weaver just dealing crazy amounts of physical right-click damage with that Geminate to a hero that's relatively low armor and can't pin Weaver down.
Radiant team banned.
So we do see now the draft progressing. Solo is going to be running on the Puck, and we are going to be seeing BZZ this time on the Luna. So huge team fight damage, especially in a magical department. Later on, Luna and Prophet will do some great physical right-click damage. But starting off, just nuke. And as I mentioned, she's a BKB carry, so very early we're going to be seeing her select that. If not her first item, then definitely her second. And that's going to make it so that she can get benefit from Helmlet Dominator. She can survive through all this nuke, because otherwise you're seeing an Ice Blast, a Finger of Death, and an Infest, and that's enough to bring her down in a flash of an eye, really. Blink of an eye, I think it is. But I'm not the best with idioms, I try to stay away from them. But Godblack refusing to stay away from his oldies but goldies. Treant Protector is going to be Godblack's hero. Oh, this is fun. He loves playing the Abaddon, that healing potential, that potential to turn fights around, and Treant Protector delivers much the same. Now, not as efficient with his living armor. We're probably not going to see that maxed first, but the Leech Seed is still ever present. A huge amount of damage over time and slow to really make things work for them. And of course they can keep their towers alive, keep targets that are lassoed alive a little bit longer, and in general shut down the Lifestealer. As soon as he rages, you counter with the Overgrowth, and you're going to be looking pretty good. So we'll see how far Godblack gets on that, again, characteristic, not necessarily signature, but a hero that he definitely enjoys here, the Treant Protector, and deploys more often than any other team in competitive Dota. But in the meantime, we do see an interesting selection coming out here. This is a solo mid Tiny, ladies and gentlemen. Wadafaka is picking up Tiny to run in the mid lane versus Puck. Now the good thing is that he does have multiple instances on the Avalanche damage and stun, which makes it very difficult for Solo to phase shift dodge it. But all the same, are we going to be seeing like a Blink Arcane Assassination Tiny, or is he still going to go kind of a carry to supplement that of the Lifestealer? I'm not too sure, but I can't wait to see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, this is the joinDOTA EuroLeague, and this has already been a very interesting game series. Switching up my HUD because I prefer this one. But, oh, what's that? Surge. I've actually never seen that. That's the, oh, I saw that one actually on the workshop. It's a really, really cool one in my opinion, but doesn't really fit with the overlay at the moment. So I'm going to switch over to this one, which is close to my heart. But anyways, going over to the formal introductions, this time starting with RoX.KIS. Sorry about the noise if you guys are hearing cars in the street. I don't know why that's happening, but I'm sure it'll tone down in a minute. Anyways, looking over at Radical Online Extremists, Kaspersky Internet Securities, that's their full name. This is in the Radiant corner, RoX.KIS running on the Treant Protector. Godblack running on the Treant Protector. I'm still trying to calm down after that last game. I'm trying to like ready myself and prepare my mouthpiece for what's about to ensue. But yeah, getting my head straightened out. Godblack is going to be running on the Treant, supporting it up. This is going to leave Solo getting fooled a little bit, starting off with 64 right-click damage, and the Puck should have some pretty good potential to take a few last hits against Tiny, but still outclassed by that 67 auto attack. Anyways, looking over at BZZ's Perfect, right now it looks like he wants to go with his allies in an aggressive tri-lane. He is going to be running on the Luna, starting with that Lunar Blessing. But we do already see the Gale coming out, so this could be some good damage, although probably not a first blood, unless there's some huge mistake from Godblack. Anyways, over to Sadoy. He's going to be running on the Nature's Prophet here. Boots first, in fact. Possibly thought that they were going to run like an aggressive tri-lane that featured either Tiny or Lifestealer safe lane solo. But either way, the Boots is still going to give him a lot of potential to avoid napalm stacks that are so devastating to lane against. And if you really don't have to worry about the napalm, you don't have to worry about too much at all when it comes down to laning against a Batrider. Now we do see aggression before I can even finish my intros. The Gale connects onto line. He's going to take quite a few right clicks here, but I don't think they get this kill. There's just too much damage going back and forth. Godblack hesitates on his Leech Seed, and I think Amazing gets out, but it's going to be close. Right now the Open Wounds comes out. They change their target. Godblack gets impaled up and doesn't really have anything else going for him. Is headed out, but will he fall? One more right click to come, and it is going to be Stallcat picking up the first blood against Godblack. Now turning around on Yol. Low base movement speed, and it looks like Amazing is going to be able to set up the stun, the Earth Spike, and the kill with this last right click. 2 for 0 in favor of Next.kz. Exactly how you want to start off in a defensive try. So very, very nice for them. And this looks to be a whole new Next.kz in this game too. To finish up the introductions, as we do see Yol on the Venomancer, we are going to be seeing Next.kz go with a pretty interesting lineup here. We've already seen quite a bit from this tri lane. Reeves on the Ancient Apparition, Amazing running on the Lion, and of course this is Stallcat, also known as joinDOTA, on the Lifestealer. Interestingly enough, going for a Quelling Blade build, which, I guess they really didn't expect that amount of pressure to come out. But anyways, we do see that is going to be Wadafaka running the Tiny in the mid with his bottle now coming out, and that leaves down on bottom Mantis to run on the offlane Batrider. So not the best in this 1-versus-1 matchup against the Furion. Right now only sitting at 48 right click, but it's still setting him up for a 6-2 CS count against the Nature Prophet's 7 for 0. So still pretty even out in that regard. Now we do see Godblack in a pretty bad spot, and with this stun, I think he's dead. Like, they will get the open wounds here, and although he'll regenerate some from the leech seed, they just do so much damage with this chilling touch. So a kill fed away, and we do see that RoX.KIS are tilting on tilt a little bit. They expected to get the first blood, they expected to get this early advantage in the lane, and as Treant Protector is only level 1, he just can't make that much of an impact by himself. So we do see right now, BZZ and Yol are kind of out on their own, doing their own thing. And they're just going to have to hold the line and now until Godblack gets back up to the top. So it's kind of, you don't want to play passively in an aggressive tri lane, but they really don't have a choice now. They've already fed away 3 kills, actually almost missing out on a very close to solo kill on the bottom lane, but Mantis did get away with just a little bit of HP. Actually, in fact, I think he used Firefly to escape over trees or cliff or something, but either way, he played some aggressive Dota with the Firefly, tried to do some damage to Sidoi, but he's just tangoing right back up and is in a perfectly fine position to take this lane. Meantime, Tiny's going to take some hits from Solo, but still not going to go for any big dives. He needs to get his bottle crowed up, and in fact, the toss, the right clicks, Solo's going to drop pretty low, now getting his bottle as well as a living armor from Godblack. He's going to be perfectly fine in this position on the mid. In fact, Wadafaka is going for a bottle crow of his own, and it's kind of taking its time as we see the little dragon dude slowly bringing the precious sustenance from the fountain to the mid. And again, the bottle crow comes out. They're really not focused on rune control right now. It looks like Wadafaka is going to try to guess on the bottom rune spawn, and he is going to be correct. So bottling up that haste rune, he might be able to find a kill with that Avatos combo. Anyways, for right now, things look good for Lifestealer, currently sitting at 14 for 0. Sure, Luna has 14 for 8, but they are kills down, and this means that it means that Lifestealer has a lot of potential to just go right up and bring one of his opponents down. If he can rage dodge the Gale before it connects, he can just use his phase boots and open wounds and bring Yol down almost by himself, as long as he has the stuns of the supports keeping the other members of RoX.KIS back. As Tiny got that rune and kind of got some control, now he is going to make his move towards the bottom, it looks like, and this could be bad for Sidoi if he's not too careful. We're going to see, just go for a bit of Tiny Cam real quick, and we'll see the little boulder rolling along towards that position on the bottom. Has 3 points in Ava, 2 points in Toss, and this should be a kill if he can just find him in the tree line. Sidoi does have Sprout though, and will trap him inside next to the tower, and now just throwing out the Avalanche as a desperation maneuver. He actually is taking a huge amount of damage and accomplishes very little. Now up on top lane, the stun comes out. We do see BZZ will get hit by the cold feet, but here's the poke rotation. Great Drink Quell, double orb, and he will set up 2 kills for RoX.KIS. Very, very nicely done. So Solo making the most of this puck pick, much more so than Tiny's rotation. As we do see now, they bring this kill score 2 for 3. So this is a great way to make things happen for them. And in fact, it looks like Mantis might drop pretty low here. Sidoi has some decent right click with this Blades of Attack, but can't go under the creep wave to do anything to this low HP Batrider. In fact, if he tried, he would probably be mauled on by this Lifestealer, who seems ready to approach. They have the Flaming Lasso and their joinDOTA diving in with the phase boots. Open Wounds comes out, and he will go right on top of him, but He actually messed up here. I'll go into that in a second, but we do see, yeah, the Batrider will fall, and wow, they're turning this around pretty well. Now, Sadoi should still drop down finally, but it's essentially a 1-for-1. The only advantage is getting the carry of the kill, though he had to rotate for it. And going back to what I said about a misplay, is he actually used his phase boots to get into about this position here. There was a creep in the way, and then he used his open wounds because he had vision. But the problem with that is that any spellcast cancels phase boots. He couldn't get by, and he didn't eat the tree fast enough to keep the Batrider alive. So what should have been a 1-for-0 turns into a 1-for-1, and I gotta say, I just don't feel it's worth the time. Anyways, we do see that now Stallcat will set up shop down here on the bottom lane. And I think he's going to be a pretty good spot, but we can't say that much about Wadafaka in a really bad spot. Will toss the Goblak into a dicey situation, but still will fall to right clicks. The Losing Beam will bring down the Lion as well. Tramp Protector actually delivering the hammer of a right click, and that does set them up very nicely in this top lane. They're very well situated. They've got a lot of momentum going for them, and they're actually going to pursue onto Batrider, getting the Sprout as soon as the Firefly dispels, and they're going to get another kill. This is the RoX.KIS we saw last game. They were snoozing a little bit, but now waking up to a whole new world of Dota. In the meantime, Puck has his Dream Coil back up at his disposal, and is probably going to be looking for a rotation quite soon. Like I said, that rank 1 phase shift cannot, in fact, dodge the Avalanche, but it doesn't seem to stop Solo from going in deep. Great Waning Rift, there's the orb, and there's the kill. Getting the living armor to make sure he can tank through all that damage. My goodness. I think it's just they kind of found a really good formula that worked for an aggressive player like Scandal, and as such works for a balls deep player like Solo. They get a hero that can provide great shielding, the Abaddon, the Treant, and they just let Solo roll around and do so much damage, and with some global damage from the Wrath of Nature, they will get a kill on the poor Lion on the back end of things. Now, we do see Mantis is trying to make something happen here, but if he gets hit by the Gale, no, dodges it deftly, but gonna just try to force them back with the Napalm and the Flame Break. So it doesn't look like they'll be able to bring down this tower, but no, they're going for it. The Plague Ward's bringing it low, the last right clicks will come out, and there's a fortification to delay it. The tension rises. Will Wadafaka last hit it? Yes, he does get the deny. Very aptly timed. So they do get the deny on the mid tower, but meanwhile, Luna's just pushing top. They got the Basilius active, 2 points in Lunar Blessing. Easy pickings for them on the top lane. And meanwhile, the bottom tower still stands thanks to the living armor of the Treant. Roof Trellin as it is. So in this position here, it seems like RoX.KIS really, they woke up, they shook off the dust, and now they are able to get a series of tremendous kills in their favor. As well, they just got some great tower advantage despite losing out on the mid with that deny. However, things aren't all bad for Next.kz. They have a lot of strength once they get their ultis online. Neither Lion nor Ancient Apparition are level 6 yet, and when they are, they just become a whole new hero. But we see the Gale, the Lucid Beam, a lot of damage coming in for Batrider, and with one more right click, he will fall. Oh, not a good spot for Mantis. Just didn't really see that coming. Got blindsided by it and pays the price. Now we do see a little bit of rotations. Maybe they'll be able to deal with this rune if they saw the ward, but for right now, just keeping tabs on Tiny's position and making sure that they can jump on any opportunity, capitalize, if you will. But as I was saying, yeah, the silver lining is that Lifestealer is doing pretty well. That he has a Midas pickup as well as the highest net worth on the board. And that once the level 6 comes out for the two supports, Reeves as well as Amazing are going to be able to do tremendous amounts of work. But in the meantime, while Lifestealer is doing good, the rest of RoX.KIS are doing almost as good. You look at the net worth, and they're the 5 runner-ups for that net worth battle, and that really just shows how strong they've been in the past few minutes. Changing it up where they were at a little bit of a disadvantage, and now skyrocketing out of control, over 4,000 gold advantage. Actually, Mantis taking some hits from Sadoi. I don't think the phase boost right click is enough, especially now with that bottle, but he's going to go for it. The Wrath of Nature comes out. He's guessing with the TP. Will he find him, though, is the question. Firefly coming off in 6 seconds. Magic Wand up. It's probably a mistake to go in here, but he's going to try for it anyways. Sprout for vision. The right clicks will come through, but here's the Firefly. They got the lasso, and here comes the Cavalry in that of Lion. Amazing. 2 disables up his sleeve. Only needs 1 to bring down Sadoi, and that's the bait of the century, but counter-baited. Solo jumps in. Will be able to get a great Dream Coil onto 2. Amazing does not have a TP to get away, and Batrider was already too low. So in the end, they do get a 2-for-1. Only walking away with a low HP Solo. So, great follow-through from RoX.KIS. Yes, they dove deep, and perhaps a little too far, but they were able to make it worth their while once the puck came out to play. And that's also the kind of thing that you see from a Tiny. Because Puck has that mobility with the early orb pickup, with the fact that he opted for the treads very early, of course. Oh, wow. Lifestealer getting caught out there. That was just a huge misplay, to be honest. He knew how threatening they could be. I mean, maybe he thought that the Ice Blast forced Puck back, but I can't imagine why he thought that was a good idea. Just trying to find his farm, getting a little greedy as a result, but that sets up Puck for a very early blink. Not even 12 minutes into the game, the Puck has a Blink Dagger, when the Tiny has only upgraded his boots. I mean, just the sheer net worth difference of these solo mids. 5260 for solo, and only 2500 for Wadafaka. That just is a great way to sum up how this game has been progressing. It's just jumping ahead. Solo is now level 11, Dream Coil coming off cooldown with a Blink Dagger up, and Tiny has very little to show for himself, or for the hero selection as it is. I mean, he'll phase boots Magic Wand. That's child's play compared to what Solo has been able to concoct, and in fact, making use of it immediately, nuking down. I'm not even sure if he needed the Dream Coil, but it's for good measure. They will secure this kill on the Bat Rider. Very nicely done. And this is just going to continue to happen, especially at nighttime, when the flying vision, as well as everyone's vision, is restricted by the Fog of War. So, it's going from bad to worse for Next.kz. They really need something huge to come out from the supports and from this Nakes. He's looking for Armlet. He will find it at a pretty good time, around maybe 16-17 minutes. But right now, RoX.KIS are just as aggressive as they were last. And it just makes it very difficult for Next.kz to really create any space across the map, at least efficiently. I mean, yeah, they can all suicide down on bottom and leave Nakes to free farm, but in the end, that's just going to give more money to RoX.KIS that they're going to be able to snowball away with. So let's see what they're doing with that money while we see the push ensue on the bottom lane. Dream Coil on a 20-second cooldown, and actually in the trees, Solo goes a little deep, will get hit by the Ice Blast here in the lasso, but he dodged it. No, he will still get the debuff, but he didn't take the initial damage burst, and he might survive now. Firefly doing a little bit too much, but setting up the counter initiation, setting up the damage to come out on Wadafaka, and with one Leech Seed, they could get this kill. No, just the right clicks from the Luna's Vision, and a great overgrowth from Goblank sets up the kill on Mantis, looking for one more. Reeves will skirt out, but they've already taken the tier 1, or they are about to, sorry, and they were able to make another great trade. Now 16 for 6 in the kill department. So just underestimating the right click damage from Luna, seizing an opportunity, but not pulling back far enough, unfortunately. So, and once the Bat Rider has a Blink Dagger and a Force Staff, you can find more opportune pickups like that. But for right now, he's pretty slow at 340 movement speed, and the fact of the matter is, Solo isn't that vulnerable when you consider the living armor, as well as the fact that they are always at his back, ready for him to initiate. So, they were expecting a fight to happen, and indeed it did occur. Solo was a casualty, but other than that, they're still looking really strong. Next.kz, I mean, they want to stack this, but as the Plague Wards keep on spamming out, they really don't feel comfortable in this position here, so they're really not getting any bonus income out of that methodology. And we do see now Mantis is Dream Coiled up. Solo not in a great spot, though. The lasso coming off cooldown in just 1 second. They're going to go for an Ice Blast. They tossed him up, and he did get by the debuff. That is going to be the kill on the Fairy Dragon, the Puck. You all will head for the hills. He will survive, but this might set up an opportunity to push on the tier 1. After all, Puck, now finding a level advantage at level 11, does have another 30 seconds left on his death timer. But it doesn't look like they want to force the issue. They're just going to defend on their top lane and try to pick up those much-needed items. Armlet will come out for the Lifestealer ahead of my prediction. And as well, the Bat Rider is very close to that Blink Dagger. Unfortunate loss for the Tiny, but it's something that doesn't even surprise me anymore. Just the openings that RoX.KIS have been creating and the few missteps that Next.kz has been putting through. It's not big missteps. In a pub setting, it'd be perfectly fine, but up against a team with the caliber of RoX.KIS, they're going to always punish that. They're always going to capitalize on it, and it really hurts Next.kz's potential of pulling this one through. Down on bottom, we see the Ice Blast come out. It might be enough to bring down Sadoy. He does get open wounds. Big damage coming out. Gonna try to go for the TP. The living armor nullifying some of the damage. And I think the Ice Blast is insufficient. He will be able to heal back up. It's a close call, but again, Ancient Apparition has only recently found that ultimate, nowhere near rank 2. And Lifestealer's damage just isn't on par yet. In fact, actually getting gone on right here. They pop the Dream Coil, which will be nullified by Rage, but I don't think they turn this around too hard. Solo gets the heal. He's got the living armor, and meanwhile, Stallcat just drops down to dots. Oh, actually, he did pop the armlet. Might be able to toggle through it. Right now, the orb comes across. They get the vision, and they will get the kill. Wadafaka, though, tosses Yol in. He's a frog getting drained by the lion, but still will be able to walk out at low HP. In the meantime, it looks like Mantis really wants blood, but he just doesn't have any spot to find it. The Ice Blast is not going to connect. The only kill they might get is on Yol, but he walks away, and Solo gets a triple kill looking for Ultra. Nope, Yol's going to snipe that, but still doing so much damage here. Just continuous use of Orb, Blink, and every spell in the book. Like, he can just be as maneuverable as he wants, survivable as he wants, and dish out a hell of a lot of damage as the fight carries on. And the important thing to mention is that was without a Luna. They didn't even need BZZ is perfect. He was able to push on the top tier 2, while they were able to fight with 3 or 4 heroes down in the bottom lane. And didn't, like I said, like, I was kind of surprised that Venomancer even lived through that, because they do have a lot of burst. They have Ice Blast, they have Tiny Toss combos, they have the Finger of Death, though none of them really were able to net a kill. And that just kind of shows how much of an advantage this team has, that Venomancer with a point booster, soon to be Aghanim's, has enough health to tank through all this and get healed up by the Treant. Ice Blast will come across onto 2. They're going to go for the last, so this should be Solo's death if they get any follow-through. Avalanche, yes, they will be able to pick off Puck once again. And with the Gale missing, they might be able to pick off a second. Here comes the Evergrowth. The Leech Seed will hit onto Mantis. This will be his death. But we'll see if there's any more casualties across the board. Right now, there's 2 from Next.kz up on the top lane. Maybe trying to hunt on Luna, but what can they accomplish? This Luna has a Manta Silent Treads already. Like, the worst case scenario, she waits out all the disables and then TPs away. But honestly, she could, with the Eclipse, she can probably just turn it around, at least kill the Lion. And we do see actually Lucent Beam damage coming in. Gonna go man mode 1-for-1 against his Armlet Nakes, but with the living armor, I think he can do this. Can go for the Eclipse after that expires. Unfortunately, the creep wave does show up, so he's gonna infest inside the creep, now being broken out, and the Glaive will kill him. Down here, Wadafaka is gonna try to jump in. Yol dropping very low, should fall to the Ice Blast, but the Shatter does not come in just yet. So, it looks like Reeves really wants that kill, but I don't think he's gonna find it. In the meantime, Sadoy will fall. Shadow Amulet not doing him any favors. Reeves, one last Leech Seed is going to be his death. And Yol, surviving against all odds. This Venomancer has got to be just a pain in the rear. The fact that he's generally such a squishy hero with his low mobility, but has been able to evade death left and right is so frustrating for Next.kz. And now with the Gale, they're kiting away the Lifestealer. We do see that Stallcat is only now going to be able to get the kill on Veno. Took so much work, but finally they do get the kill in exchange for another support. Amazing will fall. The Bad Rider will fall. Tossing in Topor, but he's not going to be able to finish off Luna. They turn it around once again. The right click's coming through. The Ice Blast killing off BZZ, but they still got 4 in the process. And in fact, is it enough damage? .cam. BZZ, actually, yeah, it blocks the spell damage, so he's able to survive by the skin of his teeth because the damage threshold is only 10%. But survives nevertheless, and will be living to see the light of another day. So unfortunate for Next.kz. They really just they're grasping at straws, and they're just falling through their fingers. We do see right now a 20,000 gold advantage in favor of RoX.KIS, about the same in the experience department, and Solo's going the snowball build, the hey, screw you, I know you have low life, and I can just, with a couple of spells, make you regret that fact. It's going to be a Dagon 2. In fact, even Sadoy's playing around a little bit, going for the Mask of Madness. Well, he did it for the reason that anybody does anything on the internet, for the lulz. This is quite the item to run around on with the Shadowblade Nature's Prophet, but we'll see how well it works. In the meantime, Yol getting picked up. Are you serious? What did he Finger of Death? I don't want to use the combat log because it probably will break the game, because that's how combat log works, but even so, I don't think he got the Finger of Death off on Yol. Either way, we do see they turned it around nicely, killing off Batrider and Lion, forcing a buyback, and Frozen Ammunition from the Ancient Apparition will hit on the opposition, bringing BZZ low, but non-fatal. Wadafaka trying to get some damage into Puck will do quite a bit of work, but a quick silence A couple of right clicks, and that's all she wrote on that one. And we do see back over here that Luna will die to Lifestealer, but the Bat Rider was picked, and I think they're going to get ToporDOTA as well. Skullcat just doesn't do enough damage, and he will definitely drop. Rage buyback from the Luna. Got to get back in the fray. Getting TP to the front lines with her soon to be, I don't know, Sanjiasha? Halberd? I don't know. Crazy games. Crazy item builds, crazy stuff going on, and although it's hard to take it seriously, it's not too difficult to have a lot of fun with this game. These two teams are just really good at having the fun, active, all over the place Dota, and they're certainly putting on a show here. We do see BZZ, the hard carry, wants to be the initiator this time around. We'll get some good damage in on the Lion before backing off to hit on the tower. Now does have his Dominator, so when the Ice Blast is not on top of him, then he will be able to heal back up easily. But now hitting onto 3. They have to worry about their health bar slightly more, though not significantly. They will clean up the 2 bottom racks. Now looking at the bottom 2, and if they take these bottom 2, they 100% guarantee the game. So this is essentially the GG push. They're looking for it, but Sadoi looking to use that Mask of Madness here, doing a lot of right-click damage with this crit, but he does get stunned up. Will they be able to turn this around? Right now, Lifestealer is focusing on Yol, who gets armored up. Wadafaka comes in, has the toss, but can't really even use it. Now caught in, Sadoi is going to take a lot of damage here, but look at that damage from the Eclipse as well. Just showing them by the light of the moon how screwed they are. Next.kz hides in their fountain, begging for mercy, but none will come. Solo even diving in with the Blink Dagger to skirt him away as soon as the phase shift expires. Wow, this is just ridiculous. CIS Dota for you guys. Hopefully you're getting a kick out of it, because this is just hilarious. 3 racks down, 4 racks down, looking at top in just a moment, and that is going to be the end of our match, but certainly a worthwhile one to check out. So much activity across the map. Hard to keep track of it all, but we do see Goblak. He does get almost tossed into the pit. He doesn't get the mechanism off. He will fall. And there is a little bit of vengeance coming in for Next.kz, but a quick zap ends their elation. As we do see now, they're just cleaning up the fountain, diving deep. And Sadoi, oh, they're getting him. Solo will fall too. Triple kill for Mantis. One of the most kills he's gotten in this 2-game series, right here at their own fountain. Too little, too late, of course, but it's good to walk away with something. It's a nice little consolation prize there. Force staffing in, BCC. That's his own force staff. I thought his ally might have been trolling him around a little bit, but we do see, in the end, they're just saying, you can't touch this. We take the game. GGWP comes out. RoX.KIS are your victors in this 2-game series. A very, very fun game between RoX.KIS and Next.kz. But it is going to be the Russians, the radical online extremists, to take it away, and showing just how strong they can be with this new lineup. Solo replacing Scandal and putting on quite a show. Even Dagon won on Treant. That's something you don't see every day. Well, there it is, guys. That is going to be the conclusion of our 2-game series here for the joinDOTA League Euro Division. Was a very fun matchup between Radical Online Extremists and Mantis. I believe, checking out the bets beforehand, that the RoX.KIS was indeed favored, and for those that went with the safer bet, you indeed have secured your easy rares. But it was very fun to cast a 42-16 in 23-minute game, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it with me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in over on Dota TV or twitch.tv/DotaTalkTV2. You can go ahead, if you want to hear more from me, follow the live stream, or check me out at twitter.com/Blazecasting. Over there, you can provide feedback to me by tweeting at me, or throw me a follow if you do want to hear more from me in the future. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night.